Welcome back. More Founder Series Swiss stage, and we've got more North American more North American action for you. Malventrelli, and speaking of access, since I already spoiled the word for you, exclamation point access in the Twitch chat right now, and you can play Smite 2 alongside all these ridiculously talented players. Upsets left and right. It's been quite the tournament, so get yourself involved. Still open bracket play going on as well. So make sure exclamation point access in chat right now and follow those steps to get yourself playing Smite 2 today. And Trelly, I mean, we can't get enough of Smite 2 right now. That was the first set of the day, and it took us past 6 o'clock. We have
Sure
more to
did.
go.
Yeah, that means we still got the possibility of one more banger set, which I definitely hope we see. We've learned a lot about how the meta is sort of shifting and evolving, new builds, new picks and bans, and I think P's and B's are really where a lot of these teams can, get themselves off to a great start. If you do your homework now, you can definitely upset squads like this.
Well, if you at home are doing your homework on the bracket and who's where, well, let's show you that. Make it a little bit easier to follow along. Food Drive for Globe with the big time upset over Scrumptious, move up to 2-0. You always play somebody of the same record as yourself in the Swiss stage. 3 wins, you move on. 3 losses, you head down to the bottom 8 of Swiss, and you'll have to play in the last chance qualifiers. And Food Drive for Globe for the last set, for me, they have now become an instant favorite. I don't think you can deny them that much longer. I mean, Scrumptious is a team that has played even outside of Founders, community tournaments, Smite Prime, you name it. Scrumptious has looked great, and Food Drive for Globe proved so are they. But more games to go today, Trelly, and more players who want to prove themselves and get their names out there and known. And hey, now they know they can do it.
Exactly. I mean, you got proof. If all these squads that weren't in the top 4 of the open qualifiers through point total, you got to be watching this matchup and think, okay, wait a second. Like, even though it's a best of 3, and where it's already looked like high enough of a mountain to try and climb to upset a top seeded team in a 1-0 setting. As long as we have our own grasp of how we want to play, like our brand of Smite 2, then they can definitely find some aggression. It seems to me like early pressure is still the highlight in a lot of these drafts. It's something to consider for sure.
Get to picks and bans for game number 1 here. Questions definitely become who gets what type of priority. EMEA proved to us Anubis is the truth, and then NA tried it and it didn't seem to perform as well. Odin remains a mainstay in the ban process. His name in progress gets rid of it. Garf's Goblins response, they say no Fenrir. We've seen enough of that today.
And I've been a big fan of Garf's Goblins. I already mentioned it over in Smite Too Long Didn't Watch. So we'll have to see exactly how they decide to play this game. They fall back on a lot of tankiness, which, I mean, as we've seen, has worked out plenty. But with the Odin and the Fenrir taken, it looks like Ymir is going to be the first pick. I think I would have expected the Bacchus, but hey, they throw that one over to Garf's Goblins. Jing Wei is going to be the grab, and surely, wow, not even Bacchus there. So they leave that one up in the air.
Hecate prioritization continues. Des did look really strong in Hecate in the previous weekend to play in Swiss stage week number 1. So I understand the pickup. Prodigy is somebody who I think you can draft for a bit later. We've seen, I mean, the Loki, Sasano, Fenrir, I think are the 3 main things we've seen Sun Prod play, and they've all been relatively the same in terms of how they did. Sasano and Neath grabbed by name in progress, which, by the way, the name is in progress, but the player names are out of this world. Can I just say, the Grand Penguin Inquisitor? The Grand Penguin Inquisitor? I mean, come on. Top 10.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, I've been very critical about some of the names our players choose to use for themselves, but it does go hard, I can't lie. On the Garf's Goblin side, there's that chalk I've been waiting for. Lord Garfield has been looking at it every single time. I put a bounty out on his head because he got 0 deaths last weekend. And I said, can somebody kill Lord Garfield? There was no money on the line. It's just for bragging rights. So we'll see if the chalk falls at all today. Definitely a tough task to be told. But name in progress, we saw the last team display 0 ADC, 0 carries, 0 hunters. Name and Progress wins too. They grab Neath, they grab on her. A lot of physical damage on the side of Name and Progress.
Heard you like bow and arrows and spears. It's the Name and Progress approach. The Mordred does stand out though. The Mordred, I feel like the last couple weekends, Mordred has really improved in. I don't think necessarily the community eye, but the competitive eye. I feel like
Right.
Mordred was getting a lot of disrespect of just how the character could be played and perform. I go back to the open tournaments where Mordred was first available, and we were all kind of saying the same thing. Like, give him some time, people get more accustomed to him, build him a little bit, just stay in your face tanky, and you'll see him perform. We're finally starting to see that in competitive play.
Exactly, and that's the other thing you have to watch out for is there's a lot of picks that maybe in previous weeks have went under the radar, felt like they weren't very strong. With some itemization changes, different ways of positioning, how the meta is just shaking out, there's a lot of picks that could be really sleeper, one of which I think is the On Her. Remember, when Smite 1 was coming to its end, On Her was owning in the duo lane, not because of the late game carry potential, but because of that early lane pressure, which is still very impactful.
Heard you like to 1v1. On Her is your go-to, and the game, let's go to it. Name and Progress already sprinting through the jungle. Malum, Trelly, Doug. Fight, two-man stun. It's real good. It's a first blood. Name and Progress. No games, only kills.
That's how you started off. Unfortunate. Or Drunk Diplomat did not expect the old W key, and that'll get you. I mean, it's tough because you usually want to like be aware of this. Like we've seen it so many times now. It's no longer a surprise factor when you just get W keyed at level 5, but it still catches people off guard, man. You don't have CC immunity. Drunk Diplomat went the shell instead of something like a Beads or Aegis, and ends up getting punished for it.
I feel like we've been looking for a pick like that in one of these starts for a bit, but we do get it. I will admit I'm surprised there's no shells for Name and Progress. I just thought we had all transitioned over to the belief that shell was the best thing in the entire game. But what's interesting, and kind of going back to the fact there was an invade, the minions aren't even up yet. And Name and Progress are posturing for what could be a second pick onto this chalk once this blue buff gets started. See if Lord Garfield is aware, formerly known as Super Death Thing. Blue buff spawns and does not seem like they're a knower. He doesn't know! But no Pepe left. He gets away. So Lord Garfield safe does lose his blue buff.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to bring him down, but Name and Progress did get off to a great start here. Already grabbing first blood and invading the blue buff. They had a strategy going in, and so far, it seems like they have executed on it. Even without Sunders, you can still go in for invade in a 1v2 situation. The chalk is not going to be able to outconfirm you, especially when you lead with the axe toss, right? When that's your first thing they see around the corner, they're like, oh, so you have nothing to try and outconfirm us. Sun Prod on the Loki may have some tall orders to try and fulfill here, because when you have a rough start like this, a lot of pressure falls on your jungler to bail you out. And, you know, the Loki doesn't really come out swinging with damage. He usually takes a bit before he can chunk, but in a 2v3 setting, could definitely find a kill.
Moving back towards the mid lane. Dest in trouble. Feeds out. Won't matter. Party person?
That's a trade. He didn't hit him?
To the tower!
Wow.
Oh, man. That's 2 for Name and Progress, and that's 1 for the NPCs on the map.
I assumed that he hit something, but unfortunately did not. Party person, go ahead and start this one 2-1 now. I mean, hey, not a bad look, right? That Susano is where you want your kills if you were giving anyone a Name and Progress some farm. But Kaiden, this is going to be, I assume, the Transcendence start for the Neath, which is what just about everyone is going. You got to think about that global presence as well, man. The World Weavers, we haven't seen a couple today, but once you have a mid lane Neath to start throwing ults left and right, that's when you start really getting annoyed.
Dest in between tier 1 and tier 2 gets picked by Party Person again. No way, right?
Tower again. Oh, thank God he hit him.
Okay, I was going to lose my mind if that was... I mean, how much... I have to wait. Gank out in solo. Some help for the Shock. Mordred down. How much convincing do you think it would take for the dev team to... if the tower gets a kill, right? Every time the tower kills a god, it gets a little bit stronger. Eventually, you got a raid boss tier 1 tower out there.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if it killed 3, if it said killing spree and showed the tower. But I definitely don't want
Give it a
like,
pentakill.
yeah, I don't want like camping under tower to get stronger. You know, like, yes, my tower got you. It's stronger. Like, I'm okay with the tower getting some recognition. You know, it does good work, but I don't want turtling to become the new
It turns
meta.
into a Gatling gun, just starts firing instantaneously the more kills it gets.
That's what I'm trying to avoid here. I don't want camping under tower to be the new meta. Unfortunately, the new meta might be waiting for party person to gank your lane because he's doing a lot of damage.
Lord Garfield down. Sunprod, come on, help him out. Garfield running at party person. Is it a revenge kill? Come on, an auto. The knockback. It's good. The axe. No. Ankles shattered. Oh my
man.
God.
Unfortunate. There was no way Garfield gets that kill. Once the 3's down, he was just saving it for a little bit of play. Mid laner in a small bit of trouble, but honestly, even with Drunk Diplomat here, I'm not believing there's enough damage to kill. One more wall would be enough, but this might be a little bit different. Kaiden in some trouble. The backflip gets you out, but open the gate, pulls him right back in.
Mid laner in the jungle, in the dirt. Sunprod with one for Garf's Goblins. Name of progress, just walking away. Why is there so many people in our jungle? I mean, this is a shock to the senses. The pace of this game after the ones we've seen previously. This is a completely different one, but I will say, at least in terms of names I recognize, assuming not many name changes for the side of name and progress, Garf's Goblins had to be a heavy favorite coming into this one. So for name and progress to come out swinging the way that they have is fairly impressive.
Yeah, it seems like, again, they had a game plan to try and knock Garf's Goblins off their rhythm early on, and so far it's definitely been working, and it's all off the back of party person. This Susano has been super aggressive, which I think is what you need to do. When you get an early lead, you can't rest back. You have to, you know, push that pressure, which a hi-rez Susano does exactly that. It's not as if Sunprod isn't able to also find some aggression. He's 2-1, starting off with the Transcendence in the jungle. But you do need a little bit extra farm, a little bit extra itemization as a Loki. I think your peak is a bit higher, but your early game damage is a bit lower in that regard. So yep.
Hope desk is okay. That's a lot of ganks for the mid laner of Garf's Goblins. Sunprod takes a bit of a fight, doesn't want to overcommit. Susano engaging, might have the kill. Is there enough tick damage? 6?
Oh.
Oh man, that was worrisome for Sunprod.
I did kind of want to see the death go through just because he held that assassinate so long, but I'm gonna say it was calculated, and he knew that there was no way he was going down there. And unfortunately, Kaiden already used the World Weaver, so he was able to back out no problem. Little bit of a gank now, nothing coming. I saw that Loki's deep, trying to find a possible invade with Kaiden, but I don't think that you show up to that red buff. You just let him go. It stinks losing your red buff as a mid laner, but you'd rather do that than run into people in the jungle like this. Mid laner steps forward. Is he the target or is he going in?
Arc Atlas and Isa knock up, but can't get through to Sunprod with Pursue the Weak. Party person's got it cleaned up, however. Will the Dest ultimate be enough to help things out and maybe grab a pick for Garf? Does not seem so. So 6th total kill for name in progress, and Sunprod continuing to be slowed down by name in progress as well. Big to keep that Loki out of the game, and Sunprod a bit beaten down. I mean, still only level 5. And name in progress, I mean, all their 6 kills are on Susano, but they're saying, hey, let's just force the issue. Let's fight a Gold Fury and see if we can't add a 7th. Gold down to 1,000. Airstrike out a bit early. Drunk Diplomat will find a pick through it, however. And name in progress do get the gold.
Okay with that kill, Lord Garfield sieging forward. Does have the storm call, but it's only on to Mordred. Do you even have the damage? No, you sure don't. Blink. It's expended by Arc Atlas, and no problems there. Maybe Hostile Puppy in a bit of trouble. The wraparound could be happening. A good flop, but is there any chase down? Seems like no. Garf's Goblins left to pick up the pieces of the objective, and they can't really grab anything. I mean, that's just, again, name and progress, knowing when they can pressure, knowing when they can go for a pull, and the fact that they can get out safely, no problem.
Your last tower is under attack.
Looking across, looking at what to really hone in on. Builds have been a talking point today with the patch that came out just a couple of days ago, changing so much. And I feel like the book start has become already a staple in the mid lane. I feel like we're seeing Akates come online at a very particular point. Charlie, what's really been sticking out to you so far? Is it the dagger? Is there a particular spot your eyes have been going to?
I mean, so far, it's just been about not only the fact that Name and Progress looked like they... I feel like Name and Progress knew how the early game was going to go well before this game started, right? Or at least how they wanted it to go, right? That invade seems so calculated to me. The way they went from getting the pick immediately into the red and the blue to take it away from Lord Garfield, like all of that seemed like this was predetermined. They were like, let's group up together, let's have a plan, and let's execute. Since then, they've said, party person, you are the guiding light. Wherever you go, we shall follow because you are 6 and 2 and you kill anyone on the map. Goes back to base, pick up hi-rez and Jotun's Revenge now for party person. So plenty of itemization. You gotta look at the farm. You have to look all across the map. Lord Garfield down a level. Sun Prod down 2 levels. Des down a level. Duo lane. Everyone's down except Drunk Diplomat, who actually has the level lead. So hey, if you're Garf's Goblins, maybe you look to try and play through your Jing way. That's the best thing I got for you for now. It's not as if that gold lead is like GG territory. But finding even fights is going to be difficult.
Arc Atlas stealing away jungle right in the face of Sunblock. And now aiming for the chalk. The long run and sidestepped. Lord Garfield, Stormcall as well. We'll see how much is committed on. About that much. A World Weaver too. A lot for Lord Garfield to not even bring him down to 10% health.
This chalk is tanky, man. He knows what he's doing. He's got plenty of regen. He's got plenty of HP. And that's what you're looking after. If you are Garf's Goblins, you need a front line. When the damage dealers on the side of Name and Progress are doing so much, you need a front line to try and, you know, slow down that engagement. And that's exactly what Lord Garfield can do if he gets the late game in a fresh spot. With freeze, Bacchus may be the target here, but how much does Desert Fury do? He's holding on to it. Doesn't even end up using it until it's too late. Wow, I would have used it a bit earlier there if I was Hostile Puppy, but then, I was going to say, then someone besides Party Person would get a kill, which you don't want. Unfortunately, the shell, enough to keep the Bacchus alive. Kill cam Kenny lives to see another day.
Still a lot of attention in duo. Sunprod stealing away jungle. Might be okay. He does have the invis, but it seems like Name and Progress, or at least knowers that Loki's hanging.
Oh, he's getting chased here.
Ion's on the chase. Mid laner there. Ult away. Perfect wall. The blink in response.
Gotta go back.
Chase continues. I mean, I think that Ymir's just going to run after Sunprod for the rest of this game, if possible.
I really expect him to go back. Party Person taking some damage. No ultimate from Dest. Didn't feel like using it. There was no blink.
Oh
surprisingly.
Going on.
Remember, Kaiden has ult. Yeah, son, if he sticks around too. I feel like he could have just juked, but maybe, hey, maybe mid laner's got the Turtle Beaches on. He can hear every step that's being made and just always had an option. But you think Party Person's a threat? This Neath, man, 1-0-5, level 12 is absolutely chunking. Gold Fury, certainly what Name and Progress are after. And they're already starting it up. Only Drunk Diplomat can try and contest, and he's about to get wrapped around on by a Mordred.
Are you drunk enough to make this play work out? Party Person says no. Back off. Don't even consider it. Airstrike out. Typhoon in response. Gold Fury for Name and Progress. 7-4 now with a 4K gold lead. It's feeling good to be blue. And Garf's Goblins, remember, definitely favorites, at least from a fan perspective coming into this one. And gaining fans pretty quickly. Sunprod very popular. Dest, I mean, you put out a bounty on Lord Garfield solo to make sure he dies during Swiss stage. So there's definitely a lot of attention being put on Garf's Goblins. Name and Progress unfazed up to this point.
I mean, I just wanted to see him punished, but at this point, his whole team is being punished a bit. So not the worst thing in the world. Name and Progress has been driving all of the aggression on the map. 2 Gold Furies to their name. And still sieging forward whenever possible. Again, you got to look towards the high points here. Drunk Diplomat has his Devo stacked up, has the Executioner, probably working on some crit chance. Jingwei is going to be a shining ray of light in the late game team fight if they can get to that point. If you are Garf's Goblins, mid laner has the Queen Naga following him around for the time being, but it doesn't seem like a pull is what Name and Progress is after. If anything, I think Party Person wanted the scrap, wanted the fight. Just didn't really show itself any opportunity. And of course, I think Sunprod will eventually get online, but itemization wise just cannot match up with Party Person right now. Has Transcendence, and that's about it.
Gank attempt coming out. The jump already used by Hostile Puppy. Holding on to that ult as well. Won't even need to use it. Not a full commit. Kaidan charged ult in mid. Not really anybody to aim at quite yet. Maybe if they had really aggressed onto the on her. Name in Progress. Still just kind of hanging in mid. I really am curious as to, you mentioned Sunprod kind of needing to get going in games. That's something we've been talking about a lot with this young jungler, is he needs time to farm. Sunprod doesn't seem to really come online until his characters are fully online. Not a lot to do early. See how much that proves to matter. Ult out from Death for safety will be enough. Shell as well. Party Person in trouble. Not dead yet. Sunprod, though, showing up in the perfect time, but takes so much damage back from Kaidan to be Kaigon. My goodness. Where'd he go?
That's what I'm talking about, man. When you got that fully stacked Transcendence, Book of Thoth, and Cosmic Horror, yeah. Kaidan's got plenty of burst damage. You can't get too close to him, and the weave into backflip combo is enough to just make you explode. Plenty of DPS. Hey, shutting down Party Person is good, right? Getting that kill is massive. Question is, Arc Atlas, can you even get punished for this? I don't think so. The second you have Pursue the Weak, you just go through a wall, make sure no one's close enough to body block, and you get out no problem. That is one of the benefits of this character. Is it's kind of like old Surtur, right? You can split push all you want because you gotta get out of jail free card. You just ult away.
I thought Hostile Puppy might try to get a bit fancy there with the 1v1, but as Trelly has been calling attention to, Drunk Diplomat, level 15 right now on that Jingwei. You know, we've seen a lot of people seemingly be Dagger of Frenzy believers, but I know we haven't seen this. A Sunbeam Bow picked up by Hostile Puppy.
We have definitely not, and this is an item that was a bit questionable up until this patch when it got buffed. It kind of drained your mana, and that's the reason people didn't like using it. So now it drains a little bit less, gives more projectiles to your auto attack, so to speak. So if you're just sending them out, you get two different effects on the left and the right side of your auto, and it can help with boxing. Haven't really seen it in action from Hostile Puppy too much, but if you were to use it, I think in a 1v1 would be nice. I guess maybe with Dagger of Frenzy and Sunbeam Bow, you're really shredding objectives. Unfortunately, we see a little bit of damage on the Sunprod. Why did even see Sunprod?
What was that?
I thought I was gonna say on the mid laner. Oh my goodness, Sunprod just gets exploded.
Kaidan's just doing too many numbies. Nobody can keep up. That backflip blew them to Kingdom Come. Name in Progress just have such a dangerous weapon. You've been calling attention to it the whole game. You've been saying, look at the damage coming out from Neath. Look how much damage is being done. Look how ahead in farm. And that combination, those items all online for Kaidan are just too much.
He's got plenty of intelligence. Blink, dash through, dash. Do you have? No!
Got him again!
Backflip is all you need. My goodness. Sunprod has teleported in. Do you have the damage, or is Kaidan here to blow you up? I've got the answer. Kaidan gets it, but I think that's worth it. For Sun, you're trading your life for Party Person every day of the week. Unfortunately, you're giving the Neath a 6th kill, which hurts. That one's not as worth.
I have my head in my hands, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
I can't believe how much damage. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of a Neath just exploding me in Smite 2, but seeing it from this perspective and seeing the way that it's now controlling everything Garf's Goblins may want to do, it's just a frightening experience. I've gone from being so invested in the Sasano early on in this game, the first half of these 12 kills, to now I can't take my eyes off of Kaidan.
Yeah, and by the way, full Soul Reaver off that back. That was 2,900 gold, bro, just deposited in the bank. And said, I'd like to take all of their HP, please. That was like no abilities even landing. World Weaver is available. Does it come through? It sure does. Not enough damage though. The kill, unfortunately. Wow, I really thought that ult was gonna kill. Maybe not as much as we thought damage-wise, but hey, Drunk Diplomat has 3-level lead. Consistently looking for the 1v1 here versus Hostile Puppy, but just can't find it.
A jump away to regroup with the rest of Name and Progress, who are pulling what could be the third Gold Fury for the blue side. Garf's Goblins run into one. It's Arc Atlas. A lot of damage on, but still not dead. Gold Fury, 2 Name and Progress, and no pick in response. Just positives in the bank.
And that's what's unfortunate, because when you know you're losing Gold Fury, what a lot of teams will do is just go all in on the person that's not on Gold Fury, right? Try and find a kill. But Arc Atlas, too tanky, too slippery. Not going to be able to find an engagement here. Little bit of a Pyromancer attempt. Kite on here. Backflip. See you later. Unfortunate for Sun. Didn't have the ult. Didn't have the blink. Doesn't have his life. And that was an ambush set up by Anith. Did you blink? You might have blinked and you missed it. That might have been what happened.
I blinked. I actually blinked, and Sunprod was no longer on the map, and I can't believe it. Here we go again. Got him again. Why not? 8 total for Neath. Charge up the World Weaver and almost get them too. Meanwhile, Dest, a positive for Garf's Goblins. How long will it last? Not long enough. Party person with the pickup on the Kate. Lord Garfield has a deathless streak to uphold. Head for the hills.
Dude, Lord Garfield still hasn't died. And it's like, is he KD saving? Because again, the reason I highlighted it last weekend is because he was diving, tanking up 3, no problem. Now, he's just not able to go with his team. And honestly, it's like, I don't think that he can do much. If he gets the kite on, he's going to take a bunch of damage, get the backflip down, you know, call it a day. You need the rest of your team to be able to follow up on your dive before it's even worthwhile. And this Chalk doesn't have the damage himself to pull it off, unfortunately. Maybe as the game continues, he's very tanky. Again, it's 4 Fizz and a Ymir. So Garf's Goblins need to look towards their front line. Killcam Kenny and Lord Garfield will be hard to deal with. But Sunprod, Dest, and Drunk Diplomat, they will die quite quickly. That's the idea here.
20 minutes have crossed. That 3K gold we were chilling with for a while. Watch it grow. Watch Dest almost be blown up. The Neath has just really facilitated so much for Name and Progress. The 15-8 is perhaps the most striking thing, because it really has been this sort of early to late game baton pass between the Susano and the Neath. Fire Giant up, and Name and Progress are saying, hey, why not?
Going for it. Got plenty of damage. Garf's Goblins are here. A little bit of a wraparound from Lord Garfield, but Fire Giant's already getting low.
The jump in from Flopis will be enough. Fire Giant goes to Name and Progress. Talisman as well, but Sunprod does have a pick onto Party Person. The backflip with the half health. Pursue the Weak chases down Kaidan, but Sunprod might get blown up, and the Sunbeam bow saved him! The items paying dividends! Garfield gets pillared off! Killcam Kenny's gone! A double kill for Hostile Puppy! What a fight at fire for Name and Progress to turn around what looked like potential disaster they only get further ahead.
Wow, and Kaidan was definitely the target for that engagement. Unfortunately, Sunprod just did not have the DPS to try and put him down. If you needed a kill, it would have been underneath, and they did not find it. Of course, Party Person goes down again. That's not that big of an issue, but the 8-0 Neath needed to be shut down. Midlaner did his job, confirmed that FG, and now Name and Progress get the siege forward with 5 Giant on 4. Kaidan is an absolute threat still. I got to see what he goes back for this time. I mean, Story was picked up. I assume Rod of Zahudi. And then you get to think, you know, like, well, what else do you need? Looks like he upgraded the Bluestone Brooch instead. But that's just so much damage coming from the Neath. And honestly, shouts out to Hostile Puppy. Going for a full shred style of build. No real crit involved. I assume Kinsai is coming shortly, but Dagger, Sunbeam Bone, Titan's Bane, probably Kins. That's what's on the table here for Hostile Puppy.
I can't get over the fact Sunbeam Bow saved Kaidan. I just, of all the things, of all the butterfly effects that fight could have gone to, that one was definitely not on my bingo board at all.
What is on your bingo board?
More than you'd think, honestly. I had food drive for Globe, surprising people.
Did you have Lord Garfield dying on there? Cause
yeah, I had Lord Garfield dying in a funny moment. That wasn't as funny as I was hoping. I wanted it to be like a big thing for you. I was rooting for you in that regard.
Okay, I understand. Unfortunately, for name in progress, the Phoenix Seed is not really what they're after. Oh, they went for a little bit of fake here. Warfear on the Sun, Prod, but he gets out. Can he retreat? No, I think the Slipstream should do it, and it will. Party Person first kill in the fight, but name in progress trying to get out. Now they've taken too much damage.
Over the wall, Spell Eater eats Party Person alive, and Name in Progress lose their jungler. They step back. The jungler trade is enough to calm things for the moment.
I love that play, though, from Name in Progress. We're like, oh, we can't siege Phoenix. We're going to leave. And they, just kidding. We're going to sit here, wait, and see what happens. Unfortunately, Sunprod lived a lot longer than I would have expected. And they're just doing it again. And then they just repeated the same play. But Lord Garfield didn't fall for it this time. Do you have any dive with your Susano missing? It seems like no. Unless it's Arc Atlas ulting into the backline. Trying to find a pick in these situations is going to be all on, did Garf's Goblins dive? Did they get to the backline themselves? And I don't see a reason for them to do so. So I'm thinking double down, retreat, go back to base, and then wait for your Susano is probably the right call. Because nothing else seems to come from this.
25 getting closer. I'm watching the Gold Fury very heavily as well. There's the Op Shard for the Neath. We were looking for what Kaidan might go next. And Op Shard, one of the strongest in the game so far. I'm also looking pen-wise at the Oath-Sworn Spear for Party Person. So much pen online for Name in Progress, which is a decent answer to Lord Garfield, for example, who's going 3 physical protection into a Pridwind. Dude, so tanky.
It's really not easy to find any sort of pick on the chalk as is, but if you get him to expend his ult, if you get him to dash away in the backline, if you get him to, you know, really overstay his welcome, that's where it's going to come out on top for you. Garf's Goblins trying to trade Pyromancer for Gold Fury. Man, took them a long time to do so. Open the gates just to teleport out. They understood they overstayed their welcome a bit. I actually like that call from Dest. They probably could have walked out, but why risk it at this point? Party Person already on the hunt, trying to look for a lazy backer. Do you find Lord Garfield? You do, but just to delay his retreat. You're not going to find a kill here. It is Fire Giant that Name in Progress would be after. They've got Ancient Fury, so go ahead and take the tier 1 for free. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on the tier 2, though.
Name in Progress just have so much damage. You pointed out the Hostile Puppy build as well, with going that attack speed pen build, which is something that I feel like we haven't seen much of in Smite 2. Even since the alpha tournaments, it was always this crit build. There was the short phase of an early death metal, but that was pretty much the only excursion we've taken from the main crit build that we've seen. And it's working for Name in Progress. It's just, where do they go with the fight? We know that we're trying to look for that Susano to dive. Trelly, it's just a matter for me now of, will they continue to set the Kaidan? I mean, Kaidan's been looking great, but this fire might be the biggest answer to those questions.
Fire Giant getting lower. Garf's Goblins are here. They understand they've got some time before they decide if they go in or not. Clearly have a little bit of ward coverage. Who's going to be your engage? Who's going to start us off? It looks like Mordred to the backline, but immediately beats. He's not taking a lot of damage.
Catches a lot, repositions. Pillar out, mid laner stepped up. A World Weaver out as well, and a kill cam Kenny. Arc Atlas goes in, but was left alone and goes down to Dest. A lot of damage coming on from Garf's Goblins. Can they find more picks? The Typhoon into the backline, trying to help out. Kaidan will go down to Lord Garfield, and the rest of the Goblins are looking to work with him. But they've lost Dest. Name in Progress did lose 2, which does stop the fire, but I feel like these chaotic back and forths aren't going to be... We're going to see a lot more of them.
They're not back there. Garfield stopped for the time being, but you do have time for all 4 of Garf Goblins to go back and then see if they can find an engagement here. Sunprod just playing as the mobile ward. It seems like Party Person and Hostile Puppy will just have to go back to base for the time being. Fire Giant, even with a crit Jingwei, doesn't seem too likely. Just go ahead and let Kill Cam Kenny get some sentry wards in the meantime. You got Kaidan up in 13, Arc Atlas up in 5. Shouldn't be too much happening here for Garf's Goblins in the meantime. But one thing that is happening here is that stall I've been talking about. Drunk Diplomat is getting online. Sun Prod is getting online. And I would argue Dest has been online. Soul Reaver Obshard is pretty much all you really want on your mid laner. Everything else comes soon. Link it party first. An airstrike not used just yet, but it doesn't even matter. Drunk Diplomat won to try and fight, even if you could beat party person in a 1v1. You gotta know World Weaver's coming too, and Fire Giant gets picked up immediately. I do not like how much damage this Honor is doing to this objective. It is very slow. The Sunbeam Bow tech is cool in theory, but not for killing Fire Giants.
Ymir in trouble, almost dead. Has to ult to stay alive, but might just go down. Still not dead, finally gone to Sunprod. A lot of damage on the hostile puppy as well. A double kill for Sunprod. Will there be more than that as Garf's Goblins rally around the Loki? Party person able to respond, taking out the Chalk, looking for a new entryway. The rest of Name in Progress group up. They find safety in their remaining numbers in the 3v3 at hand.
Malum, I feel like we just casted this game. It was like, you know, like an hour ago. It was a 55-minute one. Does that seem familiar?
Yeah, it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, we're not at that point, but like the trades, the back and forth, if it's anything like the game we watched previously, Garf's Goblins is going to slowly close up that gold lead to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. Hydon lives through this time. This is big. Obshard, Soul Reaver already online. I still think Rod of Tahuti would make a great end to this build. But Garf's Goblins, man, they are here to play. Sunprod, this Loki is doing a ton of damage. If Drunk Diplomat gets his ult off beforehand, we might be looking at a very different game, because this Jingwei should be able to start out trading with a lot of these damage dealers just by nature of the big crits. And again, Name in Progress can't do Fire Giant in the face of Garf's Goblins.
Yeah, we just saw them try with Honor's build.
They can't sneak it. 210 damage at most with Sunbeam Bow is not a lot at 30 minutes, whereas Drunk Diplomat's hitting at minimum like 600 off these crits. Like they could, it's a huge difference just in DPS alone.
Name in Progress group.
They just dropped a runic bomb on them. I think he tried to ward and just dropped the bomb. Who needs confirmation? What are you talking about? Just coin flip it.
Hey, guys, bomb down.
Like, what'd you use it on? Something really important, trust me.
Yeah, guys, I got it, don't worry.
Garfield teleports in, lets you into the backline. The gates are open, you're getting pulled back in.
Maybe they wish they had the bomb. Maybe they need more than that. They need something to turn this around as they're losing members left and right. Name in Progress cannot get a foothold as Garf's Goblins are tearing them apart. Kydon with the backflip over the wall. A lot of damage. Has backup and party person. They go in. They find Sunprod with a shutdown. Where do you go to next? Over the wall? Not quite good for Kydon. And we find ourselves in the same spot we were in the last fight. Everybody dies and just goes their separate ways.
I mean, the 4v2 was great, but then Sunprod chases by himself and gets pulled. Like, you gotta stay grouped with a squad when you win like that, because 4v2 is Fire Giant territory. 3v2 is, oh, I guess I'll get back camps. Like, you just can't do much when it's this uneven. And party person, if he catches anyone in the 1v1, he's gonna have a World Weaver coming in from Neath any second, you know? So, just not a great time to try and get aggressive. Ancient Fury being pulled, party person. Thought was aware. Seems like doesn't want to step up anyways, which since Drunk Diplomat is there, definitely is a good call. Something to note, Ancient Fury would only affect the tier 1 and the tier 2s on the side of Name in Progress, so not too much value, but do we see a little bit of an invade or an ambush is the question. Kydon's got some ward coverage, so knows no one's close by. But if a squishy walked up to party person, like the Neethel would hit immediately, no time to try and go for the block. That's what I'm talking about. There it is.
They did it in the face of everybody.
There's 2 takes there, but he's too close. You can't block it in time.
2-man Morgidal in the backline. Arc Atlas trying to set up the rest of Name in Progress, but the follow-up was not close enough. So Name in Progress have to call it off. Garf's Goblins only lose the 1.
And Malum, that can all be avoided if your Hecate is not your front line, why did he walk in first? Just let the tank go.
It's Garf's Goblins. Follow Garfield.
Yeah, follow Garfield, man. He hates Mondays, he loves lasagna, and he wants the front line. It's not happening. Name and progress.
It's a three-step process.
Unfortunately, Name and Progress still are doing this Fire Giant quite slowly. The Fire Giant, if it had health regen, would probably out heal the DPS that Hostile Puppy's doing, but we'll get there when we get there. This is not a Fire Giant pull. This is the bait of the century. Let's watch as it
Hostile
slowly
Puppy's winning
gets
for that
down.
3K pot like nobody's business.
Okay, you know what? It's starting to get a little bit quicker. Like, not great, but still a little bit fast. But they're still not doing it. They just want to fight.
Look at the damage! Name and Progress is not the opening. Is not the pick. The Typhoon 2. Garf's Goblins are getting erased off the map, and the remaining two could only watch. Sunprod and Dest got to figure this out now.
Yeah, but there's some low health bars here, man. This could be dangerous. Sunprod trying to find an ambush, trying to find a low health target, all the while Dest is close by. Fire Giant cannot be done with how low these health bars are. Open the gates, just teleport Sun out. They're going back to base. Malum, they've got 40, 32, 33 seconds. Is it enough to pull Fire Giant in the face of Garf's Goblins? That is the question. They're heading up. They've got plenty of time. Their DPS has gotten better, but still not instant. Still not burst damage. Dest and Sun.
Here we go again.
And, you know what? They might be too far, though. They went so far back. Sunprod's not even going to get here. This is probably done.
Dagger Frenzy popped. A lot of attack speed coming out from the on-her. Arc Atlas slowed him down. Fire Giant goes to Name in Progress. And you can see the go button being pressed. Party Person, Typhoon charge. Sunprod avoids it. Pursue the Weak doesn't catch. Just out of range. Sunprod not safe yet.
Oh.
No last hit. A big survival for Garf's Goblins.
Wow, Sun was close, man. That blink was necessary to get away from the Typhoon, but then you have to juke Pursue the Weak, and it finally happens. Name in Progress off of a fantastic fight. We're able to grab Fire Giant on all five. Lord Garfield walled off, but in no real danger for the time being. Trying to chase, trying to just slow these backs down, which is a great call. Your best play in this moment is to make sure this siege takes as long as possible. You want your birds to stay and make sure they can't go back and spend that gold. Still sieging forward. Hostile Puppy wants to get back, and Party Person has 3 of these Minotaurs. Oh my goodness. To try and clear through. Those guys swing, man. You gotta watch out. They can kill a Phoenix when you got 3 of them.
You know, they swing. That's a lot of gold, though. That was a lot of gold that popped up.
Also true. I mean, I guess. Oh,
3K pot.
3K pot for Party Person. Sponsored by the Minotaurs. I honestly don't know what they are. I call them Minotaurs. I've heard people call them pigs. Do you have a name for them? The big boys? I don't know.
I was gonna say the big boys, but I feel like that contests Mordred too much, you know?
That's fair. I'm just saying.
And then once Cthulhu's in, where do we go from there? Because then we got big boy mode, we got big boy ult, we got big boys in the lane, and that's a lot of big boys in one map.
That is true. That's just the way I like it, but unfortunately it would get confusing, so we'll have to see how that continues. Ancient Fury goes down. This time, actually on the Phoenixes. Will this be the first time someone's base gets broken in game number 1 of set number 2? That is the question. Left side birds seems to be where Name in Progress is setting up. Garf's Goblins all hiding underneath their weakened Phoenix. The blink just stopped the wall?
Where do you go from here? Name and Progress are starting off really messy, and Party Person will fall down. Kaidon, though, somehow he want to pull out Trunk Diplomat of a hat to get a kill for Name and Progress. Phoenix still going. Arc Atlas is fighting in the throne room. What's even happening to this point? Garf's Goblins are just surrendering themselves to Kaidon in the Phoenix.
I mean, Sunprod went to the backline by himself, couldn't find the kill versus Hostile Puppy, and now it's up to Garf's Goblins. Can you keep your Titan alive is the new question. 2 Phoenixes so far. You've got an option. Lord Garfield leading the team north. Would have been a great call if that knockup doesn't put you back in. That's gotta be the end call. Name in Progress. Siege forward for the Titan.
If you didn't know who they were before, remember the names. This game one is a statement piece from Name and Progress. Garf's Goblins will have no real answer. Killcam Kenny will be lucky to survive with an extra death there. He does. Brought up into the sky to make it look cool at the end. And Name and Progress take game number 1.
12, 1, and 15. Man, that's from a Neath mid who has gone uncontested for a lot of the sets that we have seen today. No pick, no ban. We don't need her. Definitely a force to be reckoned with and a heck of a game played by Khan. And of course, I think all facilitated by Party Person. This Susano was a threat from before the game started. I was going to say minute 1 to minute done, but they got first blood, remember, at like speed buff, like before the game even begun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seemed to me like Name and Progress had a game plan. I doubt that works again. Garf's Goblin should be ready for the 5-man invade. But even without it, man, that was a clean, well-played game from Name and Progress.
As clean as it can be, but more gaming left to go. Game 2 just around the horizon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
afraid to turn out the lights? Is there something you're scared of? What's there out in the dark? Make sure to keep all your windows locked. Do you surrender? You try to stay awake. These walls you can't escape. Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here. Wanting something good to come, waiting for things to run away from. Are you just hiding? Yeah, walking into Here's one for the lonely hearts, for the ones that fear the dark. You better run out of here. Bet you can't look the other way. Here's one for the broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth or dare. Get me out, take me anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here. Oh, anywhere but here.
Press play. That brings you the Founder Series. Exclamation point access brings you Smite 2. We're back, Malum and Trelly. And I just got to say, if that game didn't inspire you to go into Smite 2 and play hyper aggressive, maybe feed a little bit and copy Kaidon's build, then I don't know what you're watching. You know, the previous set, that had the fancy, inspiring play. This just had the brawling of, hey, I have some builds I want to try. You want to go improve the Sunbeam tech? Playing Smite 2 is the way to do it. So exclamation point access in the Twitch chat right now to get yourself started down that road. Follow the steps through, put in the code, and you'll have a key in your hands in no time. Trelly.
Yeah.
Somebody called them cows. I don't know how I feel about the cows.
I don't know why they would do that. I don't know, man. That just seems rude. They're Garf's goblins, okay. It's just I'm not diving into that can of worms, okay. But here's what I do want to touch on. I was waiting for this screen to tell me if Hostile Puppy's build was good, and it's official. I'm saying it wasn't. Like, all right, like there's no way at the end of that. Like, again, I see that Drunk Diplomat did less. I see that, but I still didn't like it because Kaidon did 44,000. All right, that's not your bar because he was just owning, but I just really feel like Crit is just infinitely better. I applaud the attempt, right? Like, at least you're trying new things. And I know I'm also roasting the team that won, but you got to imagine Fire Giant would have been done 20 minutes ago if he just had Crit, right? Like, maybe I'm overstepping.
I mean, to be fair, long day. We need dinner. We want food. You see a Sunbeam Bow, you get Hostile, you know?
A little bit, yeah.
His name's Hostile Puppy. They're ready for it.
Yep.
Hopefully.
And hey, I love the aggression early on. That's what put them in a position to be able to win that game for sure. But they had some oversteps. It wasn't as if late game didn't go their way as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, Name and Progress, a force to be reckoned with. We'll see if, you know, maybe they change up something in P's and B's because Garf's Goblins need something to try and, you know, come against that.
Yeah, they need to mix it up. Picks and bans for game number 2 are here, and let's see where they go. We know the Fenrir. We know there's still the wild Anubis lurking out there that has been prioritized from different people, but most importantly, we know that Kaidon was a bit of a demon in game number 1 on that Neath. And Garf's Goblins are like, we're good. We don't need any more of that. So the instant ban is there. Sasano is the response. So if they can't have it for party person, they don't want to go against it. That opened the door for Fenrir, Trelly, and I feel like that's what you would have guessed anyway.
I wonder if Name and Progress goes for something like the Bacchus Odin that we've seen in past, or do they prioritize something like the Jing Wei? If it was none of those things, I'd be shocked. Like, if we don't see, okay, I was gonna say, like, I get the Ymir, that's fine, but if it was not Jing Wei or Odin, I would have been baffled. So Ymir Odin, definitely a smart thing. Everyone's already getting Phantom Shell, so why not get more things to proc it? I'm okay with that for sure. But now you've given Garf's Goblins the ability to grab the Jing Wei. Drunk Diplomat looked real clean, had pretty consistent farm control over the duo lane. So hey, I mean, if Hostile Puppy's not worried and doesn't want it, and that's fine. Looks like they're not. Go ahead and grab the Chalk, grab the Hekate. Looks like essentially a run back so far, besides that Fenrir pickup. So what does Name and Progress go to try and change things up? Jing Wei is the option. No way you're not building crit onto Jing Wei, but Loki is going to be the choice. I mean, hey, Loki, again, not a great matchup into Fenrir, but fantastic nonetheless. Plenty of burst damage, plenty of poke damage as the game continues later on. Not a bad top 4 here for Name and Progress.
Not a bad top 4. I feel like, I think I said this to you last weekend. Wow. I'll sprint through this point because we haven't seen a soul in a while. I almost like that Sun Prod isn't on the Loki. It's been probably my least favorite pick to see Sun Prod on. I like the things that give Sun Prod the ability to get more aggressive, and whether it's Chalk or Fenrir, I feel like the options are there. But Trelly, Soul, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Soul.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, and I think that means Sun is going to take the Morgan jungle, to be honest with you, because I've seen him do this before. It looks like Fenrir support. You give Garfield his Chalk again, and then Sun takes the Mori. That's my bet. But you know, there's always room to be proven wrong. Cuckoo gonna be the last lock in for name and progress. The Soul though. Hey, if you want some crit chance, did you just sip from a little skeleton cup? The Soul is definitely one of those picks that, hey, if you're lacking DPS, if you're lacking big shred, that's where people have been going. Soul took some nerfs, I believe, in the last patch, but still very impactful. A lot of safety, a lot of early pressure. Definitely not something that I'm upset about seeing. And if you overwhelm yourself with physical damage and you just need a magical carry, then yeah, Soul can provide it quite well. So I don't mind this at all.
It's been a long day. I needed some water, and it's on theme.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't know if you like.
Yeah, look, it's got the little hand.
No, I like it, and I've got my skeletons. This guy, he reaches for my chair right there. You see that? It's like he's grabbing me.
Yeah, they're out of our closet and into screen time. It's fantastic.
Sure is. Like, I mean, both drafts, to be honest with you, but
perfect segue.
I'm leaning a little bit more towards name and progress on this one, man. I know that, again, if it is the Morgan jungle, I know that I've seen Sun play it before. I just don't know if I'm a believer yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because from my experience with Sun Prod, a lot of his most experimental picks are some of his best.
That's
we'll head in
fair.
games, see how the start goes off, and if that is the way that Sun Prod is leaning this game, and it looks like it will be the Fenrir, so more traditional. Kill Cam Kenny actually taking the Morgan to support. So Malum, Trelly, and Doug to bring you what will surely be a chaotic start if game one was anything to go off of, and by the looks of the blue jerseys, that might just be the way to go.
I'm trying to remember if Kill Cam Kenny was the last Morgan support I roasted, because it didn't work and I roasted it. I don't remember. Regardless, at least Sun is on like a traditional, like hard carry style jungler, which I think is good. I think when name and progress looks good.
Minions have spawned.
I'm sorry. When Garf's Goblins look good, it's off the back of Sun having like a good early game. So, you know, we will see in that regard. But I still am not a Morgan support believer, as I've mentioned at least once. Again, I'm forgetting if it was Kill Cam Kenny in particular who played it, but it probably was, and I didn't love it.
I'm really looking for... if Garf's Goblins got to come back in, it feels like, for me, Dest has to be the secret here. I mean, Dest has been so solid the past few weeks of play, and consistently a standout. And a lot of it's been on this Akate. And we even saw it late game. The damage was online, the plays were there, almost to a fault, where Hecate started to lead the way for the team instead of the front line. If that can be done, if you can play around Dest, I don't know, I just feel comfortable assuming that would be a significant change.
You know what? We've seen the Hecate v Cuckoo matchup, though, a couple times now, and this Cuckoo is quickly rising up the leaderboards in my mind for absolute threat in the late game. That Spirit of the Nine wins can still just all out win you a game. Like, I don't think that's an exaggeration saying one Cuckoo ultimate can just win you the game. And Kaidon, considering how he's been playing, I'm on board, man. I'm sure he's got it. Like, I don't got it. It doesn't need to be proven with me. I'll take your whole stock. I'm on board.
Aegis out. Perfect timing by Dust. Immunes a lot of the damage for party person. Really good timing on that. You know, we've been talking a lot today about Phantom Shell versus Aegis, but that right there for me is kind of the pinpoint definition of why you should be going Aegis. Because that Loki, I mean, maybe you don't get the kill, but it's at least a TKO in that instance.
And that's the other thing, is like, you can do this. What? You can try it once. Doesn't work out. Doesn't matter. The second gank will do it, and Kaidon gets first blood. And unfortunately for Death, I don't even think you misplay. You shouldn't be going that far out of tower, but is not going to be able to find the kill. Kill Cam Kenny Taking a little bit of damage, shouldn't be in trouble. Where are the junglers, though? That's the question. Sunprod at back camps. And Party Person nowhere near duo. So we're going to see uncontested fighting. It's just Soul doesn't care about this is the thing, man. Because she's been out of the meta for a bit, people forget. But if you want to know who the uncontested GOAT of early game auto attacks are, you're looking at her, man. Soul is autoing for 92.
92 is crazy.
Yeah, Hostile Puppy's hitting for 60. Like, Drunk Diplomat has to hit 2 autos and he's done 3 times your damage. It's very difficult to try and, you know, match up against. And that was just one on top of Stellar Burst, which is such a great poke tool. You don't want to fight this lane, really.
Really don't. And let's not forget, too, if you get to a structure phase, if you leave the Soul alone in lane for what feels like 30 seconds is the minimum bar for this, your tier 1 tower is probably gone at almost any point in the game, which is maybe one of the most frustrating elements of landing against a Soul. And I'm sure Hostile Puppy knows that, which at least Jingwei has an answer, Trelly, but I feel like if you keep Hostile Puppy from rotations, too, on top of controlling the Loki around like we've seen, maybe put some emphasis back to solo. There's a lot of different routes that can be done here for Garfs that can feel a lot better than game 1.
They have the options. And again, having Kaidon get this first blood, I think just opens up so many doors because this Cuckoo should be out pressuring Death. When you have the movement speed from your 2, even, you know, you also have a dash if you choose to use it. You can get across the map and get away from open the gates so easily. The Death doesn't really have that much kill potential. How did level 5 come so quickly here? Drunk Diplomat and Kill Cam Kenny, they're on the back, but I think it was the change. Oh, I know. All right, so one thing that you might not have noticed, and I definitely noticed, I just forgot for a second, they went for Gold Camp, whereas Name and Progress, they were able to go for the actual buff camp. The Gold Camp gives you a ridiculous amount of gold, but 0 XP. Whereas a buff camp actually does give you XP, so you don't hit level 5 first. And unfortunately, Drunk Diplomat and Kill Cam Kenny, despite having pressure in that lane, didn't hit level 5 at the right moment and got under a little bit of pressure there. Look at this. Sun Prod nearby wants to try and find a pickup. Hostile Puppy does have beads and ult, though, so shouldn't be in too much trouble.
There's the ult right on cue. Hostile Puppy is plenty okay for the moment. We'll see if Name and Progress have a response to that gank over in duo with the information they have, but instead they pull Oracles in the face of Garf's Goblins. And now it's a lot of trouble for the Ymir. The Ragnarok out, the damage on, and Kill Cam Kenny with a pickup.
Double Fenrir ult, double pickup, easy pick for Garf's Goblins. A little bit of an engage here. I want to see how much you're willing to 1v1 a Soul early on. I don't think Drunk Diplomat's too interested in trying to chase down, especially with Loki nearby. Party Person trying to get his first kill of the game. Has the assist, but hasn't really been able to land much from it. But I do like that aggression, man. Garf's Goblins have shown that they're not one to take a loss lying down. Just because they started off this set 0-1 does not mean they can't find some aggression back into the game off the back of, I mean, hate to say it, but the Mori support is a great play. You know, chaining that CC with Sun Prod's always going to be a good look. So I'm paying attention to Kill Cam Kenny. It's just you don't have a lot of cooldown as Party Person pulls the objective. Gold Fury's being looked at.
Drunk Diplomat would be the answer for Garf's Goblins. Kaidon not in a position to help out, in some trouble. Gold low. Party Person secures it before the Supernova Stellar Burst combo can make a contest happen. So that's +1 gold for Name and Progress. 1-1 kills across the board. And gold's still close, so a close 6 minutes, which feels a lot better for Garf's Goblins in comparison to Game 1, where Name and Progress came out of the gate swinging and definitely got to an early lead.
And see, mid laner already has made the adaptation that I've been looking for from a lot of these other supports. When you're up against a Fenrir or 2 Fenrirs,
You've been asking for this all day.
Just get first item purification, man. You don't need Thebes. You don't need Mystical Mail. Just get beads. You're not going to get picked. Lord Garfield has to blink out, but honestly, has the damage to fight here, and he realized it teleports back in. Here's Sun Prod. Arc Atlas, you'd think, would be the target here, but it looks like the buffs are what they are after, and Garf's Goblins should try and take away at least the red buff. And oh my goodness, Party Person are taking so much damage.
So much. One more axe will do it, but out of range already with the blink, and they cannot secure it. And out in mid lane. Kaidon is okay. So despite all the fighting across the map, the score remains the same. But the buff invades and the presence in the jungle from Garf's Goblins. I feel like with these teams of names we're getting used to, Trelly, when you see them playing confident in the jungle, you can know that at least the headspace is right for the game at hand. A lot of the passive play that we've seen in the Founder series up to this point usually leads to that team. They're playing passive almost for the sake of safety and less for some strategic advantage of the passives.
Right. I mean, still, there's like, I love the grass invade attempts as well. Just like all the stealth grass across the map can open up so many doors. Killcam Kenny transforms, goes forward, pulls the beads. But do you make it out alive? The answer is no. Kaidon will take you down. I mean, hey, you get the bead, which is a nice win, but Sunprod was not able to get that. That was definitely the call. Hey, you go in first, beef Fenrir.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in.
Was it just too late
Fenrir.
in your mind? It felt
I
very
think
late.
You just take too much damage from the tower, even if Killcam Kenny gets out. Sunprod can't dive that far under tower to make that play work.
Totem's back, by the way. If you are just now tuning in, the new way to capture that Warhorn. One thing you're probably accustomed to is a Loki gank on the ADC, and luckily for Drunk Diplomat, they are as well. Separate just in time, and their Morgan support is here for backup. Gold's not up, but there's a lot of presence on the left-hand side. You'd have to assume it's for the Queen Naga. We'll see what the contest is like for that.
Have the option. Look at this grouping in the jungle. Queen Naga is here. Sunprod already on the way. Remember, beads were pulled from Kaidon. Got to be the target for the Fenrir. Are you really going to leap in here if you're Sunprod? The answer is yes, but immediately closed in on the Ragnarok. Gets Sun out of trouble for now. Can't find the fight. Does have the damage, but I don't think Sun falls here.
The gates to keep the Loki away, so Sun does indeed get away. Queen Naga buff went around the belt of Party Person, so the ambitious attempt at a seal was no good. And hey, remember earlier when they said you leave a soul alone for 2 seconds and your tier 1 tower is gone? Soul moment.
Certified soul moment. The tower is gone, and Arc Atlas takes the mean end of some chalk poke. Despite the fact that name in progress is up 2-1 in kills and gold, the map state still seems to be looking pretty clean here for Garf's Goblins. Cannot complain at the very least, considering tier 1s are dropping, pressure in lanes is going towards them. I guess it's all off the back of Kaidon, and this Cuckoo has not really been present in a lot of what I'm talking about, so that's the reason it seems so one-sided. But hey, look at Thoth, Polynomicon already online. That's definitely going to start to add up. The Zephyr into Poly combo can absolutely chunk. Garf's Goblins head over towards the Fury. It seems like Name in Progress knows this is happening. Can they even get here in time is the question. 3k HP and already mid laners got vision.
Spell leader out! And it goes to Garf's Goblins. Now secured the Spear of the 9 Winds, which was late. Name in Progress at least made the attempt. So 1 gold per team. 2 for Name in Progress in terms of kills, just the 1 for Garf's. And a decent gold lead comparatively to what we've had. But the pace, the shift of pace from game 1 to game 2, it's a night and day difference, and it's kind of insane. We were talking in the beginning of game 1 about how different it was from our previous set of Food Drive Flow versus Scrumptious. I mean, this feels more like that set.
Definitely does, and considering that we've essentially evened up the game here, you gotta wonder who's gonna try and start the aggression next. I mean, it's been off the back. If it is for Name in Progress, it's been all about Party Person and Kaidon, of course, but I think more so it's been around Killcam Kenny to try and find aggression here for Garf's Goblin. Sure, only a part of 1 kill, but Morgan just brings you so much unpredictability, right? You could be dealing with a Fenrir, you could be dealing with an Odin Cage, you could be dealing with a Chalk Die. There's a lot to try and make room for. Not a lot of options. And speaking of unpredictability, Sunprod goes for Phoenix Feather second item. That's gonna be helpful when you're trying to go for a dive, survive at 1 HP and reset, but not gonna give you too much damage, so to speak.
Open the gates. Party Person under the tower. Stunned out, but not enough damage for the pick. Watch Sunprod, though, on the rotation. See how aggressive they get. Nope, Sunprod showing some patience. Surprised by that. Now jumping in, finds the Fenrir. Goes for with the Brutalize. The Ragnarok, the patience pays off, but they still haven't killed. Ymir, finally. They'll go down to Dest.
Purification, Glacial Strike, Shards of Ice. There's not available. Not enough to get you out of trouble. The Fenrir is still undefeated in getting picks on people with no CC immunity available. Again, mid laner had it, but unfortunately just did not get the ult off in time to try and immune that pull. And now 2 kills on the board for the Goblins, and we are just like dead even in gold. Garf's Goblins slightly pulling ahead just by nature of better farm in the side lanes mostly. Like I've been seeing Lord Garfield. He's had a lot of control on this side of the map, and of course, I mean, Drunk Diplomat's got that level lead, already pulled down tier 1. And by the way, I eat my words because Hostile Puppy is mirroring the same exact build on Jingwei. So, I mean, egg on my face, bro's not building crit again.
Definitely feels more out there on Jingwei.
You know what? No, hold on. I'm not done. He saw how much damage he was doing.
Go off, King.
Why? Like I thought he was testing. He saw the test. He got back a D plus C minus and was like, this is good. This is what I was shooting for. And it's down and back. The one benefit is that Jingwei has built-in crit. So, hey, maybe the DPS is going to be a little bit better. All right, you know what? I'll hold off judgment until I see late game, but I'm not happy. All right, your turn.
I don't know. That was... You said it. You hit the main points. If I see a sunbeam in my, if you start getting a random Discord call in the middle of the night, just know it's me. And there's a sunbeam bow for the enemy ADC, and I need you to yell at them for me.
Right, but here's the thing.
The passion showed.
Right now, me and you can shut down the majority of sunbeam bow users in our games if we just make sure everyone knows.
Wow, you're right. This is my first time getting to enjoy that power.
Oh yeah, I've been spewing propaganda all the time. Like when Ronnie played Janus support, I was like, sweeping declaration. If I see any of you doing this, you're banned. You know, like all that kind of stuff. So, you know, this is where we got to use our platform for good.
I will keep that in mind. Yeah. No sunbeam bows, and also no 3-man ganking me when I'm playing solo at 2 a.m. and then spam laughing me. That's my sweeping declaration. Please
Wonderful.
knock that off. That is not fun.
I'm glad that you've got
that felt good. That was
in front of us.
therapeutic.
Right, yeah, and look at this. This might feel good too. Gold Fury started up, name in progress. Sun Prod trying to step forward, but the rest of the team a little bit slow. Yo, Kenny gets walled off, but doesn't it matter? They brought you an Odin. I'm thinking the Odin's got a good page here.
A real good cage. Can Name in Progress follow up? The Spirit of the Nine Winds only finds one. Not enough damage on quite yet. Sunprod actually is the one to come away with the first kill of the fight. The Loki ult stuns 3. Where's the follow-up? Where's the damage? Arc Atlas will find it with the double. Party person gets Sunprod. There it was. It was there the whole time. Name in Progress still have 2 alive to deal with, though, before they feel safe going back to that goal. Dest is 1. Arc Atlas says, let me soul him, I got it. Turns around, sees the chalk, and is unfazed. But Trelly, perhaps bigger as Arc Atlas might fall.
Nope.
The Gold
Nope.
Fury was stopped.
He's fine. Listen,
Yeah,
man,
he's fine.
I love a
moment.
good chalk chase, but up against another tank, and especially an Odin, like, he's gonna shield one of your abilities and heal through the other one. Like, there is no way. If Lord Garfield, I mean, if Arc Atlas HP was 1, I don't know if he could have killed him there. That's just the nature of solo lane brawls. So, Arc Atlas gets to walk out scot-free. Finally, both 3 started back up. We've seen the Morgans steal a Golden Fury already today.
Not again, not again.
Not part 2. Mid laner able to confirm that one. But Kill Cam Kenny watched it burn because sometimes cool guys do look at explosions.
16.5 minutes. 45,000 gold for Name in Progress. Garf's Goblins just crossing that 43,000 threshold not long ago. 2-level lead in mid lane for Kaidon, our sort of player to watch after game 1 on the knee. Sunprod now engaging. Grabs the Loki, brings him back to the Pyro Pit where Drunk Diplomat and company basically popped a balloon and they secure Pyromancer alongside it.
Man, I honestly thought Party Person would have been able to ult out there, but too much damage too quickly. And now Garf's Goblins get to step up, grab themselves a tier 1 tower. At the very least, Hostile Puppy is trying to match that push. Go for the split push. Oh, does get clipped by a Kaidan. Had to use the beads there. I honestly thought would have been able to clear that ultimate, but I think the tail, Cuckoo's tail, might have been caught in open the gates, and that's enough. It's like when you get your jeans stuck in the escalator. You're getting pulled regardless, and now Kaidan's out without a beads. You got to juke not only the open the gates now. There's 2 Fenrir's running around that you have to worry about.
Jeans getting stuck in an escalator is why I only wear ducky shorts.
Yeah, I don't wear jeans.
Yeah, it's just
It's more of a
safer that
style
way.
choice than anything. I do wear jorts though.
You're a jorts guy.
No, I just made that up. I don't. It sounded cool though.
I was debating if I wanted to go the route of like shock or I'm not surprised. I was trying to figure out which way to go. So I'm glad you called it off.
I own 0 pairs of jorts, but I would like them.
I like a good panic back from a bit before we get too deep into the jort conversation. It was a good call from you.
Yep. I was like, before this goes too far, I don't want to be known as a liar on broadcast because there's 0 evidence, 0 photo evidence of me ever wearing jorts. Well, it's just like there's 0 photo evidence of any sort of kill onto Kaidan so far. His beads are down. Will that open up a gank onto the Cuckoo? Look at this. Kill Cam Kenny in the background. I think I know who they're after.
I think I do too. Will they find it though? Lots of disengage coming out from Name in Progress. We can settle for Ymir if you are Garf's Goblins. And they got it early on. The cage out had Kaidan in it. Sunprod jumps in after a Ragnarok, brings him back to his pals.
There it is.
And Drunk Diplomat sends Kaidan to the grayscale. Big pickup there for Garf's Goblins, and that fight basically evens up the game.
And for the record, that's who I knew they were after. They just went for mid laner first. I was not saying that Ymir was the target there. I really thought they were just going to go all in for Cuckoo.
Ymir tried to ruin the plan, but we were following.
We are so big brain, we predicted the next kill that was coming through. But look at this grouping. Fire Giant seems to be what Garf's Goblins is after. Name in Progress. They don't have a Cuckoo. And remember, this Odin, Arc Atlas, despite the fact that he's getting dope right now, 3-0-1, level 19, very tanky, has a big health bar, but can he get out?
Still stuck? Stuck?
Yes,
Done. Finally died. Wow. That took a lot. I mean, you want to talk about kitchen sink being thrown at somebody? That was the whole house.
And it's not done yet. We got a Fire Giant being pulled. Party Person tried to go to the back line, but already Ragnarok comes through. You gotta be able to ult away. Party Person doesn't have beads. Assassinate will get you out of there every single time, but it's not enough. Garf Goblins are still burning through. I thought this would be done. Taking a little bit longer than I expected.
Yeah, a little bit of time,
Taking a little bit longer than I expected, but Fire Giant will eventually go the way of Garf's Goblins. All 5. They're gonna pick that one up. Name in Progress. They're on the left side of the map. Are they trying to grab Ancient Fury in time? I'm gonna be real with you. I've seen Hostile Puppies build. I don't know if they can get it done in time. Well, they've got Kaidan here. That'll help.
Yeah, it's struck him. Backup's here.
Yeah, see. Yeah, if Kaidan wasn't there, Lord Garfield might just walk up and take that.
Certified Sunbeam bow haters right here. You know, usually like weird item choices and builds win me over. And I'm telling you, maybe you've just broken me down to be a little more hostile towards your average player, but I'm really becoming a Sunbeam bow hater. I can't get over it. I mean, that would have been scary. You're completely right. If you don't have Kaidan there, Lord Garfield can just simply walk up and take that. And on Jingwei in particular, foregoing that crit feels like you're just leaving so much damage on the table, and I think it's just getting more and more evident the further we get into the game.
Right, and please understand, this is not specifically a Sunbeam bow hate train. It's just the fact that we're not getting any crit and foregoing all of it, right? Like, Drunk Diplomat's going Hasten Fatalis. That doesn't give you any crit, but there's already a Demon Blade, there's already Executioner, there's other things that can facilitate Soul's Kit with it. Whereas Hostile Puppy, Dagger Frenzy, Xe, Sunbeam Bow, that's it. That's the DPS. It just doesn't seem like you're matching up very well. My goodness. Just pushing forward is the call. Dagger Frenzy pop, trying to grab a Phoenix. You're not doing it quickly, though. Now it looks like Name in Progress might be overstaying their welcome.
They had the idea. Garf's Goblins even seemingly considered a structure race had they been closer to the tier 2. As you see, a couple members did stay behind. You really only need the soul anyway. So now Name in Progress being forced on the retreat, chased around. They can't back. That's a tier 2 down for Garf's Goblins in the solo lane. They will not push further. So an even trade at the end of all things, but the awkwardness of the exchange and the kind of threats that were there were a bit wild. I'm surprised Name in Progress even considered it, really.
I mean, it ended up working out at the very least, right? You grab the tier 2 when you get out of trouble. Garf's Goblins still trying to group up. They want to push down the left side tier 2. Trying to think about how their engage would look at this point. They have finally grouped up, so squad-wide purification is an option. Remember, Party Person has died twice from a Ragnarok with Assassinate available. You don't have to worry about ulting away when you're next to mid laner, and by mid laner I mean the support, not Kaihan, the guy with purification, to get you out of trouble. So that's sort of the benefit there, is you don't have to worry about beads when you're next to your support. Any sort of seeds that we see, Party Person should be within AoE distance of mid laner, so that will shut down at least the initial initiation of Garf's Goblins. And that's pretty much been all their picks, right? Like 8 kills, 3 of which are on Sun Prod, 5 of which are assists. Same with Kill Cam Kenny. 1 kill, 7 assists. They have been the initiation. It's just the double Fenrir.
Sometimes it feels almost easy at some points for Smite 2 so far in the Founder Series, where we can kind of look and say, this will be the fight where things break open. This is the play we're looking for. This is the player. The double Fenrir feels like it's the way in, but at the same time, with how every time Garf's Goblins seemingly pull ahead, and even Progress just find their way back in, I can't truly pinpoint what that spot might be. I mean, picks, obviously, I guess that's the go-to, but it feels like there has to be a deeper answer.
Speaking of deeper answers, I was going to say, what is Party Person's plan here? He is deep in the enemy jungle. Wants a 1v1, right? That's what he's hiding for. But, I mean, Sunprod's already revealed himself deep. Finally shows himself on the map. Is going to immediately book it towards that teleporter. Do not want to get caught out here.
Interesting.
But a pick on the Party Person would be massive right now for Garf's Goblins. They know he's nearby. Remember, jump into stun has gotten him twice already. Does not get him this time, but now you got to have the juke shoes.
You're ulting towards the Phoenix. You gotta have a plan to get out. Not gonna be an easy one for Party Person. Sunprod on the chase. Looks like Death might go for the cutoff. The Ragnarok forces the blink, but the Ragnarok keeps up. Open the gates too. Let's just all drop our ultimates for Party Person. Sunprod's hot on it. The jump not gonna be good. The Brutalize will be. Everybody's here. Party Person's still not dead. Oh my god.
That
finally dies.
Almost got him out. Like, if Drunk Diplomat missed that one auto attack, it would have been tough. Regardless,
we're too deep in the day to be doing all that.
Right, and double regardless, the reason I even brought all this up is because that is such a big pick. Party Person was what was keeping Fire Giant hopes alive for Name in Progress. With it being gone, or Garfield's not taking damage here. Like, bro's just gonna be chilling. Goes to ult in, a wall off, gets him 20% of his HP. He's gonna pop his 3 and just zoom on out of there as Fire Giant begins here for Garf's Goblin.
Odin Cage out, trying to lock everybody away from it. They've already got it, got burned so quickly. Name in Progress can only watch it go down. And the call is a quick retreat, as Garf's Goblins take one of the first substantial leads of this game, being a couple thousand gold, and Fire Giant belts around, plus a bomb, 2 bombs in pocket. It's time for Name in Progress to prepare for the onslaught.
Got the Ancient Jerry buff. Mid tower, an afterthought. Gonna be attacking very quickly, doing very slowly rather, doing very little damage, even with the Ymir wall to stop DPS. Phoenix still needs to be the target for Garf's Goblins. They go on back to base. They need those power spikes before they continue. They had plenty of gold in hand and did not feel confident breaking the base just yet. Probably a smart call. So now Name in Progress have time get those last bit of updates. Hostile Puppy needs level 20. Needs the gold to upgrade that Death Skull. Besides that, Not too much to look after here. It seems like Party Person wants a Soul Reaver, but that's a lot of gold away. And Haidon wants to upgrade that Sands of Time into the Pendulum. That would be nice as well for DPS, but just not in the cards currently. Not enough farm around their base to go for. There is a red buff spawning here shortly for Name in Progress. That's about it, though. I was thinking, like, if I'm Garf's Goblins, I'm probably trying to set up an ambush at that red buff, but it's too little too late. Just going to go ahead and grab the Queen Naga buff, which very impactful, very useful when trying to break the base.
Garf's Goblins, to me, feel like this team that I think they took game one personally a little bit. You know, like it's in their play style. I can't explain it too well, I feel like, but it's something in how Sunprod has been diving. The confidence of Fort Garfield having that W key presence back that was sort of lacking after we finally saw some deaths and almost playing passively. It just feels like that swagger is back in their step a bit. Even while they're not in a significant lead, as you mentioned, they have Name in Progress enough on the back foot where they're walking around the map more like they're in control, and it's just the difference in their team fights and their overall macro play is just completely... It's not even in the same world to me.
I really wanted to see what happened there. A Party Person went to teleport, stopped, saw Sunprod there, went to back. The 1v1 you never want. Like, Sunprod's build at the moment, he is so tanky. Best case scenario, you guys just stall each other for a while until someone else shows up. Eventually, I think Party Person would try and run away, which would still be tough. But again, Phoenixes, that's the target, right? That's what Garf's Goblins are after. Their gold lead is slowly climbing, but there's not a big difference as far as I'm concerned itemization-wise. There may be a difference in quality of builds, but we've been hammering that nail home all day.
Yeah, I think everybody's on board.
Yeah, so it's just itemization. Like you know, mid laner is not as tanky as he might want to be, but it's not as if Kill Cam Kenny's that tanky in his base form. Once he transforms, he usually goes into Arc Atlas, and then he's real tanky, right?
Storm Call for the engage, knocks up 2. Damage all right. Garf's Goblins need a new opening. Spirit of the Nine wins. Hits 3, but the damage is not significant. So Name in Progress's defense is not great so far, and they're about to lose Arc Atlas. Garf's Goblins looking for that new entryway now. Maybe it's Kill Cam Kenny turning into Odin. Not gonna find it. Now Kaidon coming alive, bringing out the kill on a Drunk Diplomat. Is there more to be had? Maybe Party Person can just live through that. What? That's wow. 2 HP in a dream.
Yeah, that is a Kaidon diff. My goodness, that was a huge ultimate. You were right, didn't do that much damage, but clearing out these minions and just doing consistent damage has been enough to stop the aggression. That's a low health support, and Kill Cam Kenny's done. Polly could finish it, but he doesn't have it. The name's
we're dashing in. Are you kidding?
Finally, Name in Progress finds some aggression, and now they're on the chase.
It's Garf's Goblins versus Kaidon. I'm almost convinced in certain circumstances. That feels like the case. I mean, whether it's the Cuckoo, whether it's the Neath, Kaidon just says, all right, I mean, I know it's Garf, it's Name in Progress, but like, they're Garf's Goblins. Can we work on like, you know, Kaidon and the boys? Like, we gotta workshop something.
Yeah, there's definitely room for a rebrand, but finally we get to see some aggression from Name in Progress. They've been on the back foot for quite some time. Pyromancer getting ripped through by Sunbeam Bow, and the Runic Bomb hasn't been picked up by... I didn't see anyone pick it up. Okay, mid lane on my back foot. I was gonna say no one picked it up. Mid laner almost left it though. Did not go for it. Hey, I will say that is the path to Musashi's dual swords. Yeah, he went Demon Blade. Let's go. Hostile
Let's
puppy.
go.
Let's go. I'm a believer. A bit now.
And we're all in. Now we're all in.
Finishes with Deathbringer, I'm gonna be through the moon. But there's a lot of gold that needs to be grabbed before that's a possibility. You're a whole level behind. You see, Kaidon's build, that's what everyone else is trying to get to. A full item in the last slot. Garf's Goblins start up FG. Name in Progress are very much aware. And by the way, Sunprod's on the left side of the map and is clearing wave. So yeah, this is a fight that Name in Progress want to force. Unfortunately, immediately found out is Party Person. Oh my goodness, the damage. He's got to get out.
So much. Spirit of the Nine wins. Did hit a couple. Damage all right. Name in Progress. Pulling back, grouping back up. Sunprod is now here for the fight, which does shift the scales a little bit enough. And we're back kind of slow. We're back to that dance feel. It feels like there's always room for something to kind of explode or blow up. I mean, maybe with the Queen Naga, Name in Progress can get a little bit more aggressive towards that fire. I just... The openings, the actual go, go, go buttons, Trelly, they're hard to find this game. Maybe this pick, Purification out to jump away from Arc Atlas. It's a full commit to bring the Odin down, and they can't do it. They almost lose Killcam Kenny.
I actually love that call. And now, Killcam Kenny on the run. The rest of the team surging for beautiful shards of ice. And here comes Loki to the back line. But they can't find the kill. Kenny's still up.
Still alive somehow, but Kaidon pulls through with the double kill. Name in Progress, ready to step up and follow suit. Spear of the Nine Winds, not gonna find Sunprod, but the stun sets it up. Can you kill the Fenrir? Yes! Hostile Puppy will handle it. The Odin Cage out. That sets up Kaidon for even more. The Cuckoos on a rampage, and Name in Progress are gaining back control of this game. They're sieging out. They've just got Drunk Diplomat to get through.
You say siege and control. I think they might be trying to go for a little bit more. They've got a wave. They have one soul to go through. Left side bird is the target. Remember, Kaidon has Poly. Unfortunately, your Jingwei is in mid right now. One Phoenix is the least of their concern. Do you go in for the end? No. Killcam Kenny's up in 14. He gets an insta-kill pulling someone into well. Not worth it. Go back for Fire Giant. Unfortunately, as has been brought up time and time again, it is not going to be a quick pull. But with Kaidon here, there is the possibility of being able to go in for the Fire Giant and do it quickly before anyone shows up. It's only up to Kenny, really. No one else wants to walk over here. Yeah.
Nobody at all. It's just free. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. These are two teams that are that group of players, Charlie, we keep talking about that are trying to make names for themselves. And we keep bringing up these talking points. I know I do of there's the experience and look how they're controlling the play. One bad fight, it turns it back around. These two teams are on that even playing field, but Name in Progress pulled off that same type of play. No way.
A little bit of an attempt. Does not.
I was like, no way. There's no way the decoy gets it here.
Yep. Does not. But what more are you after? Killcam Kenny was close by. Decides to run. I don't think Party Person has any business going to finish that kill, so we will not see it. But Name in Progress. Remember, they already got right side Phoenix. Somebody has to deal with fire minions. Where else do we get to see that pressure? Mid tier 2 could be the option. We have not seen the traditional Ragnarok into a pick in a while, and this is why Arc Atlas also picked up that squad-wide purification. So not only do you have beads on Hostile Puppy and Kaidon, you have two different instances of team-wide CC immunity on both of your frontliners. Sunprod looking for a jump. I don't think you can find much for it unless the team is here. If anything, yeah, Sunprod's losing that trade.
You can't dash into the decoy when Soul Reaver's online right now. It just does too much damage. And as Sunprod learns that, we'll back up. The 1v1 continues. The assassinate out. The Ragnarok's the response. The shell too. Sunprod able to live that. The Killcam Kenny, oh my god, is so dead. And Name in Progress are bringing it to Garf's Goblins. The namesake, able to get one pick back, but is that one pick going to be enough? Hostile Puppy falls down to Dest. Where's the rest of the damage? The Phoenix never even fell in duo, but Name in Progress are still stepping forward. Sunprod jumps in onto 2, has to get right back out, gets caught, gets slowed, gets sent to the dirt, and Name in Progress are ready to end the game. They keep getting picks. It's just Lord Garfield. Can you handle the 1v3? I don't think you can, and Name in Progress will take it 2-0.
My goodness, man. I mean, Arc Atlas choosing to just like ignore his team for a little bit, get to level 20 was definitely a great call. So props to the Odin for keeping the team alive. But you said it right, man. This was the Kaidon show. Not only that Neath in game number 1, this Cuckoo in game number 2 was ridiculous. Not only was he the structure damage for his team with that Polynomicon and just all of the abilities, the positioning was pristine. So little deaths, 9, 1, and 7. Tied for the Jingwei. Hostile Puppy as well. was able to stay very far alive. But look at the damage taken. Less than 10,000. That is ridiculous in a game this long.
Talk about a way to make a name for yourself here. I mean, Kaidon, it's so funny. The Neath is one thing, but to be able to do that on an actual, more traditional mid laner, we're so used to seeing a big time, big ultimate type of character. I mean, Kaidon's proved their legitimacy to me in just one simple set.
Yep, 40,000 damage, double anyone on his team, and double anyone in the game except for, I saw 128,000. So ridiculous amounts of damage. Shouts out to Kaidon for sure. And a shocking 2-0, if I'm honest with you, Mal. I definitely thought we'd be going 3 at the very least. And if you asked me before the set started, I would have thought we were going 3 in Garf's Goblins' favor.
Yeah, I'm right on board. Well, let's take a look at the bracket and see how games have actually worked out throughout our day today. Food Drive for Globe with the first upset of the day. We ended up kind of having 2. I know a lot of people were looking at Garf's Goblins as kind of one of the teams that could be the sneaky team to make it through to the 2-0 side of the Swiss bracket, but it's Food Drive for Globe. Name in progress, take it as well. I mean, it's been a wild day of it. You see as well the rest of how the scores have worked out. I mean, there's a lot of games left tomorrow, Trelly, but today's been one heck of a day. Let's take a look at that schedule we can expect tomorrow. Same thing as today, starts off with EMEA going into North America, so we can get an idea of what to look for. Today, you got to see quite a bit. Tomorrow, you'll see even more NA. I mean, Cowabunga, team with 5 Ms versus Borscht. That's a day of some fun for North America.
That's the matchup I'm looking forward to most. Team Name with 5 Ms versus Borscht should absolutely be a barn burner. Hey, I didn't think that Food Drive for Globe versus Scrumptious would be as exciting as it was. So hey, maybe Secret Service puts on a show for up against some of these top seeds. And I don't think it's any reason to doubt anymore that considering how fast this meta shifts and changes, anyone can show up, man. It just depends on what you come with strategy-wise.
Tomorrow starts off with EMEA, as you see, 11 and 1 p.m. Eastern, respectively. Titans Reloaded versus Giovanni Giorgio. I'm sure one that's being very much looked forward to. Yodi Gang as well, that take on Mockingbird. I know Yodi Gang is a team a lot of people are talking about for EMEA, so I am locked in on what we'll be casting tomorrow for EMEA, but what a day we've had today, Trelly. It's been it's a long day of Smite, but it's been some really good Smite. I mean, the set between Food Drive for Globe and Scrumptious was incredible. It's exactly what you want from Smite 2 esports.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, it's 8 o'clock. We're finishing up, and guess what? There's still more action to check out tomorrow. Make sure you're there bright and early. Not that early. It's 11. It's gamer early, regular human early, not that early. But regardless, there's going to be some good matchups.
Regular human early.
Yep.
Trelly is a human. He casts Smite. That's going to do it for us today. You be safe with the rest of your night and meet us here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for more Smite 2. We'll see you next time, and good night.